Today, looking at assessment techniques and methods around us, we discover that there are certain assessment techniques that are not suitable for a particular class of people. For instance, I'm going to look critically at a very particular group of people. They are not very many, but they are very, very important. As a student of disability and inclusion studies, I'm very much interested in looking at how people with disabilities are assessed. On this occasion, I'll be talking about the assessment of children with intellectual disabilities. Imagine being in a classroom, seeing lively children, seeing children playing, laughing, being creative, and teasing each other. And in that same class, you see another child that is just left behind, not attended to, because he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't understand what the others are saying. And for that reason, he's just singled out, is left there, not able to mingle with his friends or communicate with them. If I tell you that the way that we assess early learners will either open or close their doors of success, will you believe me? For example, while I was in the early primary school, I was not able to read. Even up to my third year in the primary school, I wasn't able to read. But I knew a lot of things in my head, but not able to express them by reading and writing. Until a teacher discovered me and made it possible for me to be able to identify letters, to be able to read, and from there, I was able to express myself. I was able to read some things from the papers to understand. Before then, I was considered a very dull and a useless student, even both at school and at home. But immediately that was discovered that, oh, this is the problem with this child, it was opened and I became a student to reckon with. I want to share a very vital perspective with you today. Students with intellectual disabilities can experience vastly different learning journeys and outcomes when we employ assessment methods that are specifically tailored for them. First of all, do we understand the challenge? Have we looked at the challenge? What is the challenge? First, we will acknowledge a critical truth, which is that the traditional assessment techniques will often leave children with intellectual disabilities underserved. Their unique and very strong abilities will frequently go unrecognized in standard evaluations. Now let's take the story of a little boy, which I will call Bom Bom. He was 6 years old, and for instance, he was diagnosed with Down syndrome. Bom Bom struggles to express himself in conventional testing settings. However, during a play-based assessment, his creativity and his problem-solving skills were brought to bear, and everybody saw that Bom Bom was not that dull child that they thought he was. He had a very captivating story, and he was able to build very interesting blocks with some blocks that he was given. Now, having said all this, it is important that we look at certain assessment techniques that will be suitable for this group of people. For instance, if we use a play-based assessment technique for children with intellectual disabilities, it's going to show that play is not just fun. It's a fundamental way that children learn. Through guided play, educators can observe how students interact, how they tackle challenges, and how they communicate. This method allows children to showcase their knowledge in an engaging and a natural environment. Another very important technique that can be applied for students with intellectual disability is the observational assessment technique. Observational assessment provides invaluable insights to a child's skills and interests. By closely watching students during everyday activities, teachers can capture their abilities in action, often revealing strengths that standardized tests might miss. Instead of coercing them, pushing them into one form of assessment, when ordinarily you can observe that these students are not at par with others, I would consider that as unfair assessment. It is not fair. It is not proper. It is not able to bring out the real talent, the skills, and the things that they learn. whether a child is intellectually disabled or not, the child is able to learn. The important thing is bringing to the fore the technique with which that child can learn. Another technique that we can apply is the portfolio assessment technique. When you create a portfolio that showcases a child's work over time, it will offer a rich narrative of their learning journey through diverse medium. For instance, in writing, in art, or hands-on projects, these children are able to express their talents and growth in a way that resonates with them. Now, when all these are put in place, we're going to find that these children are as useful and valuable as every other child that we have in our schools. Now, personalized evaluations is another way that we can assess these children with intellectual disabilities. Now, when you tailor assessment to individual needs, it can be transformative. For children like Bombo, like I said before, replacing traditionally written tests with visual aids or hands-on activities can help them demonstrate their understanding without a pressure of conventional formats. When we do assessment, it does not only just tell us about how well a child is doing in terms of academics, but it is also a means through which we can empower them. Assessment is trying to see how well they have learned and how we can make them powerful, empowering them, making them know that they have done well. It makes them stronger and better. They will highlight the truth that every child has something valuable to contribute. As educators and advocates, it is our mission to create an environment where each child feels seen and valued. Otherwise, like Bombo was seen in the beginning of the class, he would have been considered not worthy, not qualified. He cannot go to school. He is too dull. He cannot do that. He cannot do this. But we will apply these systems, these techniques with to Bonbon. We will discover that Bonbon can do as well as every other student will do. Now, we are going back to that classroom that I described earlier, that was filled with children, with laughter, and with many potentials. Imagine a world where every child, regardless of their challenges, has access to assessment methods that truly reflect their abilities and foster their growth. I challenge each of you, everyone that will see me today, I challenge every one of you to put that as part of the things that you will do. How will you advocate for changes in the assessment practices within your communities? How will you ensure that every child has the opportunity to shine? I will invite you to join me as we go forth to advocate for this special group of children that are intellectually disabled. They are just intellectually disabled, but they are as useful as others. If we create the necessary environment for them to showcase their knowledge, for them to shine, for them to feel that they belong to the world that we belong to, for them to know that they are part of us and they are not just outcasts. Together, we can transform the lives of students and enrich our society. We can transform the lives of students with intellectual disabilities and enrich our society. Let's unite in this mission. If we unite, we will get there. Thank you very much.